Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey.
Why this beat so cold?
We will make America proud again. When you try to kill our we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
All I can do is shake my head. You just can't make this up. Not even 48 hours after the death of Charlie Kirk. This man here produces a video. Same rhetoric, the same gaslighting, fear-mongering, scaring people on the funding bill, you know. It just doesn't stop with these clowns, these Democrats, these politicians. It doesn't stop, man. Just doesn't stop. And I was reading something on X, posted underneath when they found the killer and bought an update of the killer of Charlie Kirk, and the bullet casting said, "Hey, fascist," you know, written on them with an Antifa symbol. But then I read this this post from Alex. He quoted it and said, "A left-wing violent extremist killed my friend because he listened to people like Biden, Kamala, Obama, Adam Schiff, Adam Kinzinger, Liz Cheney, and other Democrats in the country say such hateful things about Trump Republicans for the last 10 years. Charlie's blood is on their hands." That's what he posted. That's what he said. And as you guys know, there's videos all over the internet, you know, of the Democrats gaslighting, fear-mongering, calling us Nazis, fascists. You know, it just doesn't stop. You know, it just doesn't stop. And I'm still surprised this man is just walking around free, you know, with the lies, the fraud, the scandals that he's been involved in. I'm just still surprised he hasn't been held accountable, you know.
Criticize the president. Anyone,
as you know, President Trump posted this on his page.
as the president, anyone who says anything adverse to the president's interests gets the full weight of the federal government brought down on them. Anyone who stands up to the president, anyone who criticizes the president.
But not even 48 hours. And he produces a video. You just can't make this up, man. You know, it's honestly the same thing over and over, the same script, you know, the same rhetoric that create more extremists.
19 days, the government funding runs out, which means if there is not an agreement between Democrats and Republicans on a spending bill, the government will shut down. Now, maybe that's what the Republicans want. Maybe they want to shut it all down. After all, they've been shutting down the government every day, illegally impounding funds, that is, funds that we have approved on a bipartisan basis. They're withholding in violation of law, rescinding funds also in an unlawful way, that is, money we've agreed upon, they're just unilaterally cutting. Maybe they just want to shut the whole thing down. But if they don't want to shut down the government, they need to come to the table and negotiate with Democrats. Now, let me tell you a little bit about what is at stake right now, because these negotiations are not happening at all really right now. But when they do take place, if they do take place, it's not in a vacuum. They're taking place at a time when millions of Americans are poised to lose access to health care. This is from a number of causes. We're going to lose health care because of massive cuts Republicans are making to the VA and its staff, cuts they're making at the National Institute of Health, NIH, and a lot of the research it's doing, cuts it's making by getting rid of top expertise.
Again, same lies, the same script, the same exact script. He sits down with the same exact script, man. You're going to lose this, you're going to lose that, you're going to lose your rights. I mean, you're going to lose everything.
at the CDC and making it more difficult for people to get vaccines. But most significantly, in their big, ugly bill, they made $1 trillion of cuts to Medicaid, and they eliminated tax credits people need to get health care under the Affordable Care Act. So as a result, in particular, of those changes, millions of people are going to lose access to health care completely, and millions more.
And we don't know how many times this has been fact-checked, debunked over and over and over.
Are going to have the most extraordinary increase in their health care costs that we've ever seen. By some estimates, those Americans who buy their health insurance on the exchanges are going to see their premiums go up by 75%. 75%. Already we're seeing, as a result of that big ugly bill, hospitals closing down. In Willow, California, the only hospital in Glenn County is closing. And it's closing because the federal government won't help keep its doors open, and all the actions we are taking are causing hospitals on the edge of bankruptcy to go over the edge. For people in Willow, California, it means 28,000 people who won't have access to a hospital or an emergency room or a labor and delivery. This is what we're talking about. Denial of access to care, communities losing their hospitals, all the jobs attendant with that. You can't have a vibrant community without a hospital. Who's going to move to a community where you can't get medical care? So when you come to the table, Mr. President, Republicans, when you come to the table, if you come to the table, you want my vote, you're going to have to restore health care to people, millions of people who are going to be losing it because of your negligence or your just willful disregard for the health of the American people. And it's not just about health care. You need to stop the lawlessness. You need to stop the illegal withholding of funds. You need to stop the illegal use of funds to militarize our cities, to grab people indiscriminately off the street. You have to stop using the money we approve illegally. Now here's the other thing. Even as they're saying they want some kind of a funding bill, they're telling us that if we reach an agreement with them, they don't plan to honor it. Now, how can that possibly work? If they're telling us whatever funding you agree on, we're going to cut your priorities after the agreement is done. That makes no sense at all. So there are going to have to be some assurances that what we agree to, if we get to any agreement, is ironclad. That is, they will not renege, cannot renege, that there are mechanisms in the bill to protect against the continuing illegal use or non-use of government funding. So that's what's at stake in this fight. It takes place at a time when our country is headed down a dangerous road to dictatorship, when we are seeing things in this country we never would have imagined, when we're seeing the administration use its coercive power to cripple universities or to go after law firms who represent unpopular clients, or to silence the media or extort payments from the media in exchange for mergers. We're seeing the requirement that companies pay tariffs or get penalized, or that they give a share of their profits to the federal government or can't export their products. This is unprecedented. We're seeing abuses at the Justice Department unlike anything in America.
Everything's unprecedented. Everything's unprecedented, unconstitutional. Everything. The man walks up the street. The man does something good for the country. The man does exactly what he said he was going to do. The man does exactly what people voted for. Everything's unpresidential. They ought to walk his butt out in handcuffs, man.
American history, where the weight of that department is used to go after the president's enemies. This is the road to dictatorship.
Dictatorship.
So we cannot approach this funding debate like it is a normal debate at a normal time with a normal administration.
Same rhetoric, same stuff, same exact. It just doesn't stop. It just doesn't.
You want my vote for a funding bill? You're going to have to agree to restore health care for people that are going to be losing it by millions. You're going to have to agree to reduce the cost of health care instead of having 75% health care costs imposed on the American people. and you're going to have to agree to end the use of federal government money for lawless, corrupt purposes. To me, that's what's at stake in this funding debate.
I'm gonna just read some of the comments of what people are saying underneath this. But let me just start off. I don't understand why he's not facing charges. Why isn't he in prison yet? Schiff is so evil. He's not dumb. He's evil through and through. And when is he going to be held accountable? Schiff and the globalists belong behind bars. Evil lurks in the darkness of his mind. When are Americans going to have this corrupt, radical Democrat politician removed from Washington and any government activities in America? Adam Schiff is the biggest traitor of our nation. Everyone knows it. Totally expected. Why be in shock? It's who they are. Don't worry. Schiff has his day coming. Can't wait. He's pure evil. If he's talking, he's lying. I can't stand to hear him speak. You know, the biggest liar in Congress. Pure evil. Why is he not in jail yet? He's a traitor. Why doesn't the DOJ already have him in custody? Yeah, you know. This one says, should that help pass Obamacare? Nothing has caused people to lose health care like Obamacare. He talked about the VA. Make Congress get their health care through the VA, and the VA will get fixed. Boy, you know, big eyes is just evil. Put this guy in prison, you know. But hey, what do y'all think? Let me know in the comment section. You know, I honestly didn't even want to show y'all that because I didn't even want to listen to it, to be honest with you. But hey, we got to do it, you know. But because it's just the same thing, man. The same script, the same rhetoric, the same fear mongering, gaslight, the same stuff, man. But I love y'all. God bless you all and your family, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace and love, you guys.